Saint Germain Series Volume 8. The I Am. LLL Discourses WW. I Am activity of Saint Germain Foundation. The I Am activity represents the original, permanent, and highest source of the Ascended Master's instruction on the great laws of life, as first offered to the Western world by the Ascended Master Saint Germain, through his accredited messengers, Mr. and Mrs. Guy W. Ballard. In the early 1930s, the Ballards established Saint Germain Foundation and Saint Germain Press Incorporated, which under Saint Germain's guidance, have expanded into worldwide organizations that offer to mankind the true Ascended Master teachings on the great cosmic word, I Am. Saint Germain Foundation strives to keep the I Am Ascended Master instruction in its pure, unadulterated form, free from any human interpretation, personal monetary gain, or proselytizing, as it is a gift from the great Ascended Masters and cosmic beings to bring illumination and perfection to mankind. Hundreds of I Am temples and sanctuaries exist throughout the world, where the teachings are applied in I Am decree groups. The books of the Saint Germain series are available in many libraries, bookstores, or directly from Saint Germain Press. For further information, please contact Germain Press 11 978-1-878891. Dedication. This series of books is dedicated in deepest eternal love and gratitude to our beloved Ascended Masters, Saint Germain, Jesus, Nada, the Great Divine Director, to the Great White Brotherhood, the Brotherhood of the Royal Teton, the Brotherhood at Mount Shasta, the Great Ones from Venus, and those other Ascended Masters whose loving help has been direct and without limit. Tribute VIII. I am offering a tribute of love and gratitude to the great Ascended Masters and cosmic beings who have brought forth this Ascended Master instruction of the I Am. We give all we are and have, or ever hope to be or have, into their service of the light forever. The privilege of carrying their light to mankind is the greatest privilege that can ever come to any human being in this world, and never in all eternity could we give back to them a full balance for all they have given us, because there is no balance for eternal freedom. Since it is the great mastery of life and the limitless power and perfection of all light. To know these great Ascended Masters and cosmic beings as we do, in their visible, tangible, living, breathing Ascended Master bodies, is worth all the struggle and suffering of all lives we have ever lived on this earth. They are wholly divine, absolutely limitless, free beings, and to have the privilege of their visits, instruction, and direction, is the greatest joy that can come to anyone in this world, outside of his or her own ascension. The time is not far distant when once again, as in the former golden ages, they will move among mankind, known, loved and obeyed by all humanity. 6. Tribute. 7. Because of the help which they must release to this world, if it is to survive and fulfill life's plan for its perfection. Perfection is the goal of every person, place, condition and thing in this universe, and the Ascended Masters are the more advanced part of life, in the raising, perfecting activity for this world and all mankind. To know of these Ascended Masters, send your love to them, and give them your attention, means to draw back their great love, help and blessings into yourself and your world. To know them is to love them. To associate with them is to serve them and cooperate with them. To see them is to obey them in eternal, loving gratitude. To call to them is to draw their assistance to help consume all human limitations. To be in their blessed presence fills any sincere, constructive individual with just one overwhelming impulse, and that is to be all they are, and help others to become like them also. To the mighty I Am presence, the great host of Ascended Masters, and great cosmic beings, belongs all credit, all power, all glory, all praise for the success of this mighty Ascended Master instruction of the I Am. Tribute 7. This is their I Am activity and their power of light which sets mankind free. Humanity cannot survive on this earth without them and their help, for they have held the power of light throughout the ages, when mankind's destruction of each other would have destroyed even the planet and also the activities of nature upon it. To our beloved Ascended Master Saint Germain, be eternal, limitless love and gratitude, for giving mankind the light within the books of the Saint Germain series, and showing the individual how to use the law of life to attain perfection. May every human being on earth know who beloved Saint Germain really is, what he has done for the freedom of mankind, and how great his love pours out constantly for the freedom and perfection of all. Beloved Saint Germain is the law of freedom to this earth. He is the law of the violet ray to this earth. He is the power and the understanding which mankind must have of each one's individualized God presence, the mighty I Am, in order to complete the victory of the light which beloved Jesus came to reveal to the people of this world. Humanity has had almost 2,000 years to really obey beloved Jesus' commands, be ye perfect. Now are ye the sons of God. Tribute. 9. The things I do, all men shall do, and greater things shall ye do. Death is the last enemy to be overcome. Mankind has not understood nor obeyed beloved Jesus, or people would be more like him. Beloved Saint Germain loves him more than any unascended being can understand, and has brought forth in this Ascended Master instruction of the I Am, the practical application of the great creative word, I Am, and worship of God, which will set all free who are sincere and apply it. The Ascended Master's understanding and application of the great creative word of God, and the constructive use of all life gives us in this world, is the truest worship of God man can give, and is the completion of the work beloved Jesus began during his life on earth. Beloved Saint Germain guards America's cup of light to the earth, which must be maintained, because there is not enough light in the rest of the world at this time to hold the balance against war's destruction. The great divine director, whose mighty Ascended Master instruction of the I Am is contained in the discourses in this book, was beloved Saint Germain's master, and together with beloved Jesus, assisted him into the ascension. He is the great cosmic being who is the authority. X. Tribute. Of the cosmic law to this earth, which means the law and activity of life and light in this world, in regard to holding the balance of constructive activities for the whole system of planets to which this earth belongs. That is why his light to America is so important at this time. He is called the Great Divine Director, because for more than 200,000 years he has been directing cosmic light rays to keep mankind from destroying itself and nature's blessings to this earth completely. He is a most majestic being of such power, glory, and love as no words can describe, and through his marvelous discourses in this book may there go forth all the light America and her people require to stop all destructive forces on this earth forever. Are all we give unto this great being of light who has loved us so greatly that he left his cosmic activities to keep the people of earth from total destruction. To our beloved Ascended Messenger we also offer our eternal love, our gratitude, our all, for he was the only one on earth who was strong enough to open the door to the Ascended Master's octave of light, and hold guard over beloved Saint Germain's Ascended Master instruction of the I Am. Until enough people could take hold of it and do their part, to hold the protection of light in America, until the Ascended. Tribute. 11. Masters come through in their visible, tangible Ascended Master bodies to all. This glorious Ascended Master instruction of the I Am is brought forth for the protection of America's freedom, for the true worship of God, in the interest of the public good, and to bless all constructive activities of life forever. It is the true education of life and the spiritual culture of the people for the whole world, for every one in the world can make the ascension by applying the Ascended Master's instruction of the I Am which these great beings of light and perfection have given. Forward. His book is given to the I Am students and mankind at the command of the great host of Ascended Masters and cosmic beings. They are offering their help to the people of America and the world who want freedom, divine justice, protection, supply, and the constructive way of life, enough to give their assistance in calling for the release of their fellow men from the destruction which is trying to engulf the earth. The great cosmic being known as the Great Divine Director dictated these discourses before classes of hundreds, and sometimes thousands of the I Am students, at various places in the United States of America. He flashed his words in letters of living light before the eyes of our beloved Ascended Messenger, Guy W. Ballard, who then read and spoke aloud to the students in the room. This great blessed divine director is offering every possible help to the people of America and the world who want freedom and divine justice to be the governing authority to the people of the earth. The power these great cosmic beings wield is without limit and beyond all words to describe. They are standing guard over the United States of America and all constructive activities in the world, to the degree. 12. Forward. 13. That the people accept them. The people must cooperate by giving some of their own energy, which these great ones amplify by the great cosmic light rays to stop the further destruction of mankind through continued war. The people must make the call to the mighty I Am Presence, the great host of ascended masters and cosmic beings, in order for the great cosmic law to act in this physical world to save them. The people who do not want to be destroyed must reach up to those greater than themselves for protection, because they cannot protect themselves just by human physical means. The mass of mankind cannot help themselves under the present world chaos, unless they will give these ascended master I Am decrees. If they will do that, they will provide the opening through which the ascended masters can pour their cosmic light rays to overwhelm the viciousness and destruction raging through war. As one absorbs the electronic force, the heat and healing qualities from the sun's rays, by lying or sitting in the sun, just so can every human being receive the ascended master's power, light, qualities, protection and blessing. When the individual turns his or her attention to these great masters of almighty power, and through that, connect with their outpouring and help, every word which the ascended masters speak is a 14. Cup of their pure energy, light, substance, power, and qualities. All are powerfully charged to help the student accomplish the victory for which he or she calls. If the reader will still all feeling of discord within himself or herself, and notice the condition of his or her emotional body after reading one of these discourses, trying just to accept and cooperate with the help offered, the feeling within the individual will be proof enough of the power in the words and the help this great divine director wants to give. If the reader will place himself or herself in the position of the student, every possible help will be released, according to the requirements of the individual at the time. The great ascended masters and cosmic beings never cease to try to awaken mankind to the use of this law, so the people can help themselves. But the great law of the universe does not permit them to just pick humanity up, after centuries of disobedience and misuse of life's energy and gifts, and take them into perfection without any self-effort of obedience to the constructive way of life and the great divine law of balance in the universe. Each discourse carries a powerful radiation, and if the reader, or student will accept, give obedience, and expand the blessing offered by this mighty being, greater and greater miracles, marvels, wonders. Forward. 15. And blessings will come forth to enfold all. Only those who live and work now for the protection of all mankind who are constructive will be protected, for everyone must now give the assistance which saves all. The cosmic light is the ascended master's concentrated power of light to assist every constructive person and activity in the world at this time. It also is binding destructive forces so they cannot keep expanding any farther. This ascended master activity of the I Am is the balance between religion and education, therefore, it is the best part of all that is constructive in both, and when one is educated in the ascended master's truth of the I Am, he knows that to worship perfection is the highest education of life. Since perfection can only come from the beloved mighty I Am presence, and the ascended master's octave of life, which is God's realm of light, he attains spiritual culture by the true worship of God, and it can never come any other way. The great Ascended Master Saint Germain has told us that the books of the Saint Germain series in the Ascended Master's octave of light are bound in covers of jewels. So let us all accept and use the power and light which the great divine director offers, and draw to ourselves our own from within the light. The Cosmic. 16. Forward. Light is the activity of perfection. Let us all draw and call forth the Ascended Master's power and victory of light without limit, until mankind, the earth and its atmosphere are purified and free, and mankind no longer remembers how to destroy. Be an ambassador of light, to carry the light from the Ascended Master's octave of light, until all unlike its perfection is dissolved forever from the universe. Lovingly, I am Lotus Ray King. Th for example REATGREATSILENCE. By CHANERA Episode 4. To the heart of the great great silence, I now send my heart's deepest call. From the heart of the great great silence, I draw light to bless and free all. All the power of the great great silence, I feel and direct in my love. The secrets of the great great silence, I draw forth, their miracles prove. The victory of the great great silence, I command with every heartbeat. The wisdom from the great great silence, can never on earth know defeat. The peace from the great great silence, I hold now, for eternity. The legions from the great great silence, I call to protect you and me. The blessed lords of the great great silence, reign on earth now forevermore. All beings from the great great silence, with our every breath, we adore. 17. 18. The great great silence. The scepter of the great great silence, I wield to give earth cosmic light. Each one sword from the great great silence, is crystal and pure dazzling whitell. Life's crystal cup, the great great silence, gives us strength and God's liquid light. The jewels from the great great silence, reveal each one's power and height. The substance from the great great silence, around us forevermore flows. The presence of the great great silence, each heart craves and in silence knows. The angels from the great great silence, hold the hands of all upon earth. The freedom from the great great silence, gives mankind its great cosmic birth. Obedience to the great great silence, brings God's justice and joy to man. Our heart's call to the great great silence, brings to all the answer, you can. To abide in the great great silence, gives such glory, no words can tell. So join us in the great great silence, and in peace there, let us all dwell. The great great silence. Lo! The voice from the great great silence, is now heard in life's full command. 44. Cosmic light, is the great great silence, and wherever light is, 7 a.m. I. Remember all God is the silence, remember all power at hand. Remember all comes from the silence, whenever you know the I am. Now feel all the light in the silence, feel all of God's peace, in its stand. Now feel great God harmony ruling, now feel all his love take command. Now feel Saint Germain and our Godfer, now feel blessed Jesus there too. Now feel all the great host of masters, ascended, the silence come through. Feel their arms reach out and enfold us, our freedom eternal bestow. They are real, they are true. Almighty. And all can their true presence know. They are all perfection, transcendent, the silence is their realm of light. O'er all upon earth, they are master, man's only protection, God's might. The great great silence. So we call to the great great silence, to open its heart to us now, pour through our hearts all its great victory, the light to which all earth must bow. Lo! A friend from the great great silence, answers now our earnest heart call. See! He comes. A great blazing being. To awaken and help us all. His love is so great in its power, his own heart enfolds us in flame, and his glorious cosmic light rays cut us free in victory's name. This being from the great great silence, the divine director so true, is authority o'er our life streams, he commands the ascension too. For all who will give obedience and adore the mighty I am. He clothes us in raiment of splendor, now we hold his own blessed hand. He fires us too with his feeling, blazing forth here, his great command each word, a cup of his power, to help us accomplish life's plan. The great great silence. Of wisdom, he is the director, his gifts all the powers of light, we enfold him in love forever, and are charged with his own great might. He is friend, defender and champion, makes us victors by his heart's love. He is real. Transcendent. Eternal. He directs all below and above. Great beloved divine director, God's presence, among men he moves. He is glorious. Supreme. All-Master. The law of the silence, he proves. Come enter now into his wisdom, accept all the help that he gives. His glorious light rays are blazing, and through them in us, he now lives. Contents. E.S. By T.H.E. Great Divine Director. DISCOURSEI. Los Angeles, California. January 10, J937. In memory of all the love which has been poured out to the host of Ascended Masters, and in the recognition which has been given each one, do you realize, precious ones of the light, that is a power of the activity of your attention which has been required? We have been waiting for that throughout the centuries, to direct forth the currents of energy which will help you to hold your attention more firmly, not only upon your I am presence, but on the requirements for which you issue the decrees, that produce happiness and perfection in your world. Unless you saw, from the inner standpoint, the enormous effect of a body of the children of light, as you have here tonight, issuing a decree for blessing all mankind, you could not possibly comprehend what it means. Naturally, you gain from that decree which calls forth a definite light energy. Notice, did you ever hear that term before, light energy? I tell you, we are entering into a greater activity than you have ever known, and that is why I call your attention to the 7 a.m. discourses tie into these certain expressions which we shall use in the future, to give you a greater conviction and quicken into action the qualities which we have anchored within your feeling world, to produce harmony and perfection for you. You will not have the difficulty from New Year's Day on, in holding firm to the light within your feeling, which you have had in the past year. While it is true, you are beacon lights in the world of mankind's creation, yet, even though that light grows greater, you shall not be affected by discordant things. That light will ere long be strong enough in its own radiance, as it goes forth, to repel every discordant thing which attempts to touch your world. Will you please accept it, as a powerful activity from tonight, acting within your world, your body, your mental activity? Is it not curious, in the beginning of this activity of the messengers, quite a number of people thought it was just another flash which would be soon passing out? Well, you have not yet become quite well enough acquainted with the Ascended Masters to realize they do not start something which they do not see the way to finish. So, today, you are entering into an opportunity which will not only bring you happiness and freedom, but will enable you to render a service transcendent beyond even your fondest expectations now, and I say to you, beloved ones, never was mankind so favored. You, today, have every opportunity which the heart can desire, as it is bursting its bonds and entering its freedom. Think how. Discourses 3 long, the heart has been held in bondage to the intellect. What a service was rendered by beloved Saint Germain, when he brought this knowledge of the I Am Presence forth to mankind. In the number today, who are earnestly applying the law of the I Am Presence, what a service has been rendered to mankind and the earth. I give my gratitude to you, the light having expanded through you, for being able to accept and apply this knowledge, which we are as anxious for you to have, as you could possibly be to have it. Is that not a good combination? I should say a perfect combination. Now will you enter with me into that great determination, to harmonize your feeling, to call your presence into action, and then stand by in its light, until the fulfilling of that, whatever it may be, comes into manifestation. I want to say a word to the group leaders here and everywhere throughout America. Do not feel you are forgotten. We are watching the activity of every one, and the group leader who stands upon his or her own 2 feet and pours out love and blessings to that group, will have all he or she can handle, but the group leader who is watching and criticizing other group leaders, will probably not have any. You are entering, or have entered into definite law, and it acts, precious ones, according to your feeling to your associates. It is no one's fault but yours, if you do not hold your associates about you, for only as mankind pours forth Ascended Master love and kindliness, do people love to be in the individual's atmosphere. It is a law of your being. For the 7 a.m. discourses which you must come to recognize now. You cannot longer deny it, therefore, precious ones, will you arouse yourselves into the fullest acknowledgement of your I Am Presence. Then, it cannot fail to come into action with clearness and definiteness in your own personal self-control, through your feeling. I wish to express this, what the messengers do for the students, they do under direction. This messenger, when he places his hand on the student like that, never places it there of his own volition. Remember this. Please don't urge him to do a thing which he does not feel impelled to do. Please, dear students, don't do those things with each other, unless you understand definitely what you are doing. This good brother has been trained, as a dear and definite channel for our operation, for our work, and we have charged the activity to give him joy, for the tremendous service which he has rendered. I want to say another word in commendation. When our precious messengers returned from Honolulu, I called one into their midst, and he has won a great victory. In humble loving kindness he has served. So, dear ones, all of you, as our precious messenger told you a few moments ago, have been chosen, not only by your mighty I Am Presence, but by the host of Ascended Masters, to be the vanguard of this great perfection, which is coming swiftly into the world of manifestation of mankind. Notice I say, swiftly. Today, or since New Year's Day, a new and greater activity is taking place, within every one of your precious Discourses 5 hearts. I want you to know this because, dear hearts, what is the use of telling something, unless you explain why and what the effects are to be? Notice again the power of your attention. When I call your attention to an activity, it means at that moment through your attention, it enables us to do the thing, which is required to give you the assistance. Once you know that and really begin to feel it within you, the moment your attention is called to something, a great onrush from your presence goes into action within you, to produce the results which are required. Will you believe me, when I tell you, within every one of you who has entered so earnestly into these groups and those who were in the shrine class, a very definite tremendous activity is going on within you. Never allow your human self to requalify anything which occurs within you, with anything but perfection. There is nothing in this world to fear. I am getting quite personal. Why do you suppose the name the Divine Director was given to me? Not by myself or associates, but because it is my privilege to direct certain currents of energy, very definite light substance. When the light within the individual has expanded far enough, great enough, then, it is my privilege to set aside time and space for that individual, so one may more quickly enter into freedom and perfection, which the expansion of the light within discloses. Please notice, I say, discloses. I want you to feel, if you will, so close to me that it n. 6. The 7 a.m. Discourses enables MC to render this service for you. You will one day come to know what it has meant, in the provision having been made, so this good messenger has been enabled to receive our dictations in this manner. It means wonderful things to you all. Will you from this day on never allow your human self to feel anything which has been placed before you is unnecessary? The use of the violet consuming flame to set you free from your human creation is the only means in the world by which it can be done, and the need of charging your mind and body with the perfection of the presence is imperative. I plead with you, don't neglect these simple things. No matter what your activity of the day is, you can, if you will, charge your mind and body in the morning with the energy of the presence, so no matter how hard the work of the day is, you can be rested at night. Now please apply these laws and experience the freedom which your application brings to you. The messengers have been compelled to prove this truth in their own lives, and they do it every day. Many of you are doing it, for you are wholly free, precious ones, in the acknowledgement of your I am presence. There is not a thing in the world it will not do for you, if you will harmonize your feeling and call it into action, but be firm and definite about it. You know you cannot accomplish anything with a half wishy-washy way of doing it. Be calm, firm, and determined to have the perfection of your presence when you call it into action, and it cannot fail. Discourse 3. 7 Dear hearts, I rejoice so exceedingly and have since the beginning of the shrine class, to see the advancement and the expansion of your light, the great freedom and confidence which is coming into action within you, and the many things so many of you are doing, which give you great happiness in the acknowledgement of your presence. The blessed young people. Oh, what worlds of happiness and blessing they can have. Do not forget your chart, dear hearts, for one single day. I plead with you, don't sleep at night, until you have given a few moments acknowledgement of your chart. Speak to it in the I am presence above you. Don't be afraid of getting too familiar with your presence, and don't feel you have to bow and scrape before it. Just with the fullness of joy, acknowledge and say, Beloved, mighty I am presence, here I am, a projection of thyself. Glorify thyself in me, in the projection of thy wondrous perfection and mighty directing intelligence. Cause this body to glow with thy perfect health and strength. Please feel this, as I am describing it. Cause this mind and body to glow with the fullness of thy health and energy, with thy light substance called forth from the love star, which cannot be requalified by human feeling. Charge me, my mind, body and world, with the fullness of thy light substance, and cause the intelligence which thou art, O mighty I am presence, to sweep into action in my world, and produce thy perfection and hold thy dominion there. 8 The 7 a.m. Discourses. It is so wonderful, precious ones of the light, to know you have contacted and become aware of that great infinite intelligence, which can and does release into your world everything you require, for the glory, the freedom and the perfection which it wishes to express through you, and with which it can only fill your world, by expressing through you. After all the centuries you have waited, and it has waited, to have an opportunity to give you this assistance, which it could not do without your attention given to it, it is so wonderful. You are moving in a vast sea of light substance in the acknowledgement of your presence. Were you to see the atmosphere of the room, as it is charged tonight, then you would know how great is your privilege, to move within this light substance, which is drawn here for your blessing and the eternal expansion of your light. Believe me when I say, you have entered into a very powerful divine activity, but precious ones, never allow your human self to cause you to feel faint. In the presence of this light substance, such a thing is incredible, impossible. Don't let your human self qualify anything in your groups with any feeling but the strength, the power, and joy of the I Am presence. In your heart is your perfection. All these things which occur in mankind are but the individual's own human qualification, and it is nonsense. You cannot faint unless you want to. All these things are human qualifications, which you can set aside in the acknowledgement of your presence. Be strong, be firm, and Discourses 9 practical in the application of these great laws, that is what you should be. Precious ones, take your determined stand, to call your mighty I Am presence into action. Go forth, in the glory of its mighty radiance and directing intelligence, and you can be sure that we will give you every assistance possible, to your quick and eternal freedom. If you mean business as we do, then your freedom will come quickly. I tell you, in this group and this marvelous activity, you do mean business. Go on, and on, and on, until there is not a vestige of the human left. I rejoice with you exceedingly, O precious ones, in the glory and the victory which you are winning. Eternal is my love, enfolding you unto your freedom and ascension. Remember, we are one great family. We are just your elder brothers and sisters, who have attained just a little ahead of you, and we, with so great a love, are making every effort the great cosmic law permits, to give you every assistance possible. We plead with you month, after month, after month, to just harmonize yourselves and hold that harmony, until we can help you in your victory. In behalf of the great host of Ascended Masters, we call the great light substance forth tonight, to enfold each one of you, as your individual requirements may indicate, to hold that light substance active about you, supplying the courage, the happiness, the strength, and releasing the supply of all required for your happiness and 10:07 a.m. Discourses comfort, all that is necessary for your service to the light. I say again to you, precious ones, I thank you for making the call and giving the decrees. Please continue it, and you can and shall have your own home of light in which you may meet. The light substance knows no limit. The supply of money provided for mankind is really not limited, for the great presence gives all. As you issue your decrees for your auditorium, for your own building in which to serve the light, then the light will turn and serve you and supply it. There is naught you cannot have for the service of the light, whether it be a home, an automobile, organs, or airplanes, but don't be impatient, I plead with you. Go on making your decrees. Do not limit them, and you will be surprised what 1 year will supply to you, but when you say those decrees, don't let your human have anything to say afterward. Make it be silent concerning your decree, and your decree will go on and be fulfilled. Remember, when you issue a decree, the power of the universe goes into action to perform that service, and unless you become inharmonious and allow your human feeling to affect it, your decree will go on and act until the achievement is accomplished. It is a law of the universe, no one's opinion. Therefore, if you do these things, the results will be the fulfillment of your heart's desire. I say to you tonight, if you will stand with us, we will stand with you. That is a fair contract. Accept the full glory of your beloved mighty I Am presence, now. Am. Discourse 3. 34 Plified by the great host of Ascended Masters and the laws which they apply to your assistance. Go forth with a happy heart, with a courage and confidence born of your mighty I Am presence. Then, leave the rest, as you issue your decree, with the wisdom of your presence to be fulfilled, be glorified in the time in which it sees fit to produce the manifestation, and you will have in your world that which will make your happiness complete. I thank you. DISCOURSEIII 35. San Francisco, California. February 13th, Mr. Ballard. The great divine director will speak his wishes to the students, as he flashes the words before me in living light. Will you feel within yourselves the mighty import of these words? Great divine director, in my humble endeavor to serve you, O beloved students of San Francisco, and those who are visiting here, it is with a definite purpose I have come to render a service for you. From my being, there have gone threads of light, streams of light, if you please, carrying definite qualities into your hearts and your feeling world, that you may more quickly enter into the harmony and the acceptance of your mighty I Am presence, and thereby gain your victory. so you do not have to go through a much longer period for its achievement. A little less powerful service is being rendered for you than there was to the children, Rex, Bob, Nada, and Pearl and this good brother, who came to me in India. I have come to you here, in the comfort of this auditorium which is provided in your city. Will you feel and keep before your consciousness that this instruction is not an ordinary AC? 12. Discourses 13 Tivity. Even from our octave of light, it is an extraordinary activity. I may not set aside time and space for all of you, as a group, as was done for those blessed children, but a service occupying a similar position for you has been rendered. To the degree you can accept this help and keep your feeling world harmonized, will you see the outpicturing of those qualities more quickly, not only in producing perfect health in your body and more quickly solving the problems before you, but in quickly rising into that state of consciousness where you no longer consider problems. In calling your beloved mighty I Am Presence into action, you not only solve the apparent ones, but it keeps you above all problems. That is your victory. That is the achievement for which you have come into many embodiments. Today, through the great gracious assistance of our beloved Saint Germain, he chose of his own volition to try out and prove that with the assistance of the great cosmic law, the time had arrived when great numbers of mankind could understand, appreciate and accept the reality of their own mighty I Am Presence, which the chart shows to you definitely. The individual, who thinks this great knowledge Saint Germain has brought forth, is but imaginary, can of course receive but little benefit, because the repulsion of his or her own feeling of doubt will repel our help, until such time as those individuals can feel the great acceptance of this. The 7 a.m. Discourses knowledge, this truth, the mightiest which the earth can ever receive. Your knowledge of the presence and the acceptance of your mighty I Am Presence is the end of all earthly pilgrimage. Those who will apply this truth as directed and refuse acceptance to appearances will quickly enter into the fullness of the courage, strength, and confidence which gives them the certain feeling that it is really true. You will understand, beloved ones, after centuries, hundreds and perhaps thousands of embodiments, in which each of you has lived, the gaining of your momentum of limitations must necessarily be tremendous. Notice the vast difference in what you have known before, as the advancement of the mass, in comparison to your individual knowledge of your beloved mighty I Am Presence, and the eye picture which you have before you, through which you are calling your three faculties of activity into vivid action for yourselves. You may accomplish your victory today, through the use of the violet consuming flame, by calling your mighty I Am Presence into action to pass it from your feet up, a dazzling radiance like a blowtorch, consuming everything discordant which you have drawn about you through the centuries. Your achievement is definite, certain, and quickly accomplished. The accumulation of limitations which you have drawn about you through the centuries has been a long laborious process. Strange is it not, that mankind would willingly. Discourses 15 draw the people into more and more dense and limited conditions. Yet, only when the people know the great God presence which beats their hearts, can strength be sustained within the human form, which will enable them to hold their attention firm enough on their mighty I Am Presence, to set them free. Then, its mighty energy may be released in sufficient quantity, sufficient power, to not only consume all discordant conditions and accumulations, but to draw from the presence, those mighty currents of energy, which sweep into the body like a mighty river, if you please, and which will sweep out every imperfection. You may wonder why we continually pound, and pound, and pound, these definite explanations to mankind, because they must understand this truth. Those who refuse will go on and spend many embodiments before they have this opportunity again, because those who pass out, consciously refusing this knowledge today, will not be permitted to re-embody and gain the glory which the next embodiment would bring. When once the outer consciousness of mankind is given the opportunity, and the stubbornness of the human and its ridicule refuses acceptance to the great light and truth of the presence, then people will wait much longer than those who have not heard of it. There is only one thing in all this world of human activity, which will not allow any one on the face of this earth to accept the mighty I Am Presence, and that is the accumulated stubbornness of the human mind and feeling, the outer activity of it. 6. The 7 a.m. Discourses. So, today, I do congratulate you, O beloved children of the earth. Seeing the expansion of the light within you and your sincere earnestness, with great joy, I came forth into your city, into your midst, to try once again to give you our assistance, which will enable you to attain quick, certain, eternal freedom from the acceptance, now mark you, from the acceptance any longer, of these appearances which have bound you so long. Does it sound simple, when you are asked to refuse acceptance of these appearances, when your very life energy has fed them to terrify, harass, and prevent your achievement? You can turn from them now, in the acknowledgement of your presence, accept its perfection, the mighty currents of energy flowing in, and through your body, and out into your world, and have that perfection now made manifest in your world out here. That is a great, majestic, mighty law which it is your privilege to use. So, today, every assistance possible is being given to the sincere ones of mankind, to release them, not only from their own human creation drawn through the centuries, but to give them the great, great and wonderful ascension, free forever. From the wheel of birth and rebirth, which you have traced and retraced so many, many times. It does not matter whether people believe this or not, it is the great law, and it is not concerned with human opinions. It acts, and those who cannot or will not accept it, will remain in the great wheel, embodiment after embodiment, until one day they wake up. Discourses 17. I know this, good brother and sister, the messengers, do not wish me to say this, yet I am going to say it. Do you realize, and I am sure many of you do, what it means for someone to be strong enough to stand before the world and carry this great truth, which beloved Saint Germain has brought forth, for the freedom of so many in so short a time? Do you wonder that we mention this? You should not, for I tell you, but for this truth, destruction would have found America unguarded. They in their kindliness, love and humbleness have carried this message with almost the strength and courage of an ascended being. So we congratulate them and you, for being able to accept the great truth personally, and apply it to your freedom, but will you bear with me, when I ask you to do it quickly? You are no longer subject to your human creations or to the limitations which appear in the outer world. You, who go forth from this class, are free beings, if you only knew it, with THAT which has been anchored within your feeling. You are no longer subject to limitations of any kind, and if you will apply this trust as asked, refuse acceptance to all appearances, then you shall go forth quickly and release in the fullness of its mighty power, freedom which I tell you is yours. I want to say a word to some of the very wonderful students, who have called the presence into action sufficiently powerful, to make it possible for them to be in the various classes. I have watched the step up, as you say in your outer parlance, from one class to another, of the great intensity. 18. The I am discourses and activity of the radiance poured forth, and the step up in the clearness of their comprehension, even in this class. So then you know, my precious ones, what it means to be dauntless, firm and unyielding in your determination to have the power of your beloved mighty I am presence expressed in and through you, and out into your world. You can have it and do not accept anything else. Don't be interfered with or misled by human opinions, when you go forth from this class. Stand solely by your mighty I am presence. Group leaders of San Francisco, don't allow a feeling of anything but kindness to go forth. Unite and bring the glory of God, the beloved mighty I am presence, into all-powerful action here in your city, and you will be blessed beyond your fondest hopes. I ask you, precious ones, group leaders of San Francisco, come together. Adjust yourselves. Harmonize yourselves and unite in a great activity. Let each group go forth and do its perfect work, and each other group bless it forever, forever and forever. Don't one group try to interfere with another. Go on, each one of you, in the power of your group. Be blessed with the great blessing which will be released. That will help you to go on, and on, and on, in this great radiance, which will be released in your heart, mind, and body. It is sustained in your city, for your great blessing, benefit, and activity. Will you accept your freedom and your ascension? O beloved, precious ones, don't let the human intellect of yourselves or anyone else assert to you that the ascension. Discourse 19 is but an imaginary dream. It is the most wonderful thing in all the universe. It is the only means by which you can be free from the wheel of birth and rebirth. Then, in your great ascended purified body, the electronic energy and force of your mighty I am presence render a service infinite in its activity. We, who have our freedom, come to plead with mankind, to accept the freedom which is offered. Out of the glory of the great cosmic light, we call its mighty intelligence to descend into the earth, take command of America, the people, and its government, sweep into every activity, into all official places, the glory of its mighty directing intelligence. So all may feel and quickly enter into that great loving harmony of God, where all is filled with only the light of God, the great cosmic light. Where all are clothed in garments of light. All who will accept, may live within the glory of their beloved mighty I Am Presence, whose garment of light not only illumines your pathway, but becomes your protecting radiance, invincible in its activity. Great and mighty light. Release thy commanding presence into the earth, so all mankind may quickly enter into the consciousness of thy great freedom for all. First quicken the desire in the heart which is surging in the hearts of all mankind today. Then quickly release the great knowledge of this mighty I Am Presence. In its great current of energy, which quickens the light within their hearts at its touch. Flow, O mighty I Am Press. 20. The 7 a.m. Discourses into the heart, the mind and body of all mankind and assert thyself. Take thy command. Go forth in thy mighty conquering presence and fill the earth with thy mighty glory. Such is our decree for you, O beloved ones, and all mankind. My love enfolds you always, unto your freedom and ascension. DISCOURSE 344. March 2nd, Ike. Beloved children of the light, it having been my joy and privilege to minister to you during the past 3 days, will you be so kind as to accept those qualities which I have anchored within your feeling world for constant use? One of those qualities is the ability for greater self-control and mastery of your human feeling. To do this will mean freedom to you. Will you not accept all, which it has been my humble privilege to convey, to anchor there, that you may go forth on your way with less obstruction, humanly speaking? Beginning in San Francisco, the great outpouring of the cosmic light has made it possible for certain things to be done for mankind, which it would not be wise to explain yet, but which I am taking advantage of, to give the students all possible assistance in their victory to their freedom. There is only one way, beloved ones, by which you can gain the mastery of yourself, your world and all substance. That is by constantly trying, until you have called your mighty I Am Presence into action with sufficient power, to still your human thought, and compel it to be obedient to the law of your presence, which is harmony. Thus, the 21. 45. The 7 a.m. Discourses presence enables your call to be answered with a sufficient volume of energy, governed by its intelligence, to produce that which you require. All these laws are very practical and no one need be deprived of what you require any longer. Oh, that you may realize, you are having a privilege only given to a few in the retreats, only a short 100 years ago. 100 years seems like a long time to you, does it not? But to us it is like a day of great joy and achievement. One day, you will find it the same. The need of mankind today has made it possible for us to render such a service tonight. Some of you will only hear me in the intellect. Many of you will hear me with the intellect and feel it in your feeling world. Those who can feel the truth of my humble endeavor to assist you, will find it quickly active in your worlds, and may my assistance cause many things to disappear from your worlds quickly, for which you have long prayed and hoped. Will you not take advantage of this opportunity? I could not and would not utter idle words to you, but every word I utter to you tonight, shall carry with it, the power of execution, not as your execution is of the outer world, but of the power of use and service. Oh, that you might all understand all it means to you. The blessed students who have heard many of these dictations, are feeling more and more powerfully the true inner meaning of them, and what they mean to each individual. Once, you understand the words and ascended. Discourse 3. 23 Being speaks, carry in them the power of achievement, you will begin to comprehend what mighty power these dictations carry. Can you accept THEIR power in your feeling world? Won't you try, so it may have its full power of operation and action? Oh, how we long to have mankind feel the true import of these words, so they may quickly dismiss all human consciousness of limitations, and call the mighty I Am Presence into action, to dissolve all human creations which have ever been acquired. Then, how quickly each one would go forth, almost like a rocket, into his or her permanent achievement. May I remind you, precious ones, that every particle of achievement you accomplish, in the knowledge of your mighty I Am Presence, becomes a permanent thing. There is no slipping back in anything, which you call forth and achieve in the knowledge of your presence. It becomes a permanently established thing and cannot be forgotten and cannot be lost. Today in the requirement, according to the great cosmic law, you have now drawn within you the victory of achievement. If you allow your human intellect to cause you again to doubt and fear, then you will have to wait another opportunity of the messengers to re-establish this work. We are giving you the opportunity here and did also in San Francisco, to utilize these qualities which we are anchoring in your feeling world for definite, but powerful, use. To the degree that you can feel this help and let it. 24. The 7 a.m. discourses begin to act. Will you find response and manifestation in your outer world of activity? So, tonight, you have entered a new world, the world of your mighty I Am presence. Will you say to me, I don't feel any change in my body, I do not see any outward manifestation of it? If that should be your feeling, you are not apt to, but if you can say sincerely, mighty I Am presence, I accept these qualities which have been given me for use. You set them into action now. Mighty I Am presence, see that I have the feeling of the truth and the activity of these qualities, quickly brought into my outer use and manifestation. Then you will have them. You will begin quickly to experience the truth of the words I speak to you. Before going on, I wish to say just a few words to the messengers. The greatest need at the present time is in Philadelphia and New York, and then you will be directed what is to follow. Great need is in the world, tonight. Saint Germain will not be able to come and direct you, before you leave the city, and has asked me to convey this message to you. Oh, that mankind might understand what it means to have the assistance of great wise beings who have gone the pathway you are treading, having conquered and set themselves free into the ascension. They are those who know every struggle, every sorrow, everything any one of you experiences. Then, will you understand how it is within our ability to give such great assistance? We know all that you suffer. Discourse 3. 25. In the ages of long ago when I achieved my freedom, it was not so difficult, but at the time our beloved Saint Germain attained his freedom, it was 100 times more difficult than you have to contend with today. In those ages, people had to hide in caves in the mountains to worship as their hearts dictated. Today, you have the great country of America. Oh, that you might know just what that word means to you, America. Oh, America. If you clearly knew what that heavenly, divine word meant, you would almost wish to speak it like the words I am, for it belongs to the I am. One day, we shall tell you its full meaning. Now, precious ones, I am speaking to the students who are firmly and with great determination holding to the light of the mighty I Am presence. Your goddess of liberty in New York Harbor is but the symbol of that mighty being who is entering into the ruling world of America. The mighty goddess of liberty. Do not fear ever that the great law will fail to find its fulfillment in America, but those who have willingly chosen to serve the shadows will one day know the power of her radiation, which even Rho is saturating the earth. Oh, that you may know the great enfolding radiance and illumining presence, the great change which is in your atmosphere, even today. Oh, beloved ones, when you breathe, feel and breathe the fire breath of God, in which no imperfection can exist. As you think of it from time to time, feel yourselves breathing in that mighty fire breath. 26. The 7 a.m. discourses of God, the mighty purifying flame. The unfed flame, which purifies and strengthens every cell of your body, expanding the light within your heart, until it knows no interference, either from yourself or outside forces. One day, when you are sufficiently prepared, I shall stand before you, as I stood before those blessed ones in the cave of light in India. Then, shall mankind realize the great beings who have loved the world and have stood the guards over it, are no myth of anyone's imagination. So also, shall all mankind know the great I Am presence, which has stood guard over it, when the people would have destroyed themselves. Precious ones, beloved of the light. Never again let a single thought or feeling enter your world, but praise of your mighty I Am presence, which gives you life. In eternal gratitude to life, speak it before the world. Life alone pours forth to you its eternal, its everlasting perfection. Yet, mankind in the lack of understanding, is constantly requalifying its mighty currents of energy, which would of their own volition, produce beauty and perfection in the human form. Those currents of energy, if left unchanged, would make it a perfect receptacle to the outpouring of the presence and glorify the people with freedom quickly. Those currents of energy from the presence would glorify them with dominion, not from the human self, but over all substance. All form in the universe, in the octave of earth, is composed of the one substance, the universal substance of electronic light, which of itself is wholly perfect. Discourse 27. Now you understand, precious hearts, the need of self-control in your feeling world. Stop all irritation, all destructive feeling, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any of those qualities which fill your world with distress. Stop it at once. Feel the glory of the mighty I Am presence fill your world and flow forth with happiness and perfection. Only as you do that, can you have evidence of the perfection which you long to have flow forth like a river into your world. We can only do it, as you give attention to your mighty I Am presence, through whom we must work. Will you not do this? Will you not feel the truth of life, the law of life, which stands always ready to give you your freedom? It is easy and sure, easy of achievement with the great assistance which is being given. How little you know, how many times in 24 hours, you, who have been drawn under this mighty radiation of Saint Germain, are given protection and assistance. He watches from the great octave of light, and when he is busy in other fields of activity, he always has those who stand on guard to take his place, and watch over his children, the students of the light. Whenever it is necessary, they are pouring forth their enfolding radiance and strength to encourage, to bless, to heal, to prosper all, and most of the students have no idea that it is being done. Won't you accept this and feel their courage and strength, to give you help, and always know you are enfolded and guarded, so you are never really alone? 28. The 7 a.m. Discourses. Beloved ones, I enfold you in my mantle of love. I charge your feeling world with peace, with self-control, with mastery. Will you accept it, with the same love with which I give it forth to you? If you will, then you are free from tonight. I convey the love of beloved Nada, of our beloved brother Jesus, of the great host of ascended masters and the cosmic beings, who are ministering to mankind. The beloved Lanto at the retreat of the Royal Teton and those in the retreat in Arabia, send their love to the students of America. Already in India, the masters, not yet ascended, are receiving and acknowledging the beauty of this knowledge of the mighty I Am presence, which Saint Germain has brought forth. More and more, you will find them giving expression to it. I ask you, precious children of the light, to stand guard over your world, and if anything or any person attempts to belittle Saint Germain's activity, take you cue at once and be absent. I give you this as a standard, to watch and protect yourselves from unfortunate suggestions. If you care to do this, then the pathway is open. The doorways of doubt and fear are nailed back for you. Will you not feel that, and go forth through those doors, into the eternal freedom of your I Am presence? The privilege is yours. The power is yours. The authority is yours. I invite you to step through. In the eternal love of your mighty I Am presence, and my mantle of love, we enfold you unto your freedom and Discourse 3. 29. Ascension. May it be quickly. In the fullness of your mastery and self-control, may it be achieved quickly. I thank you. DISCOURS. April 2 I, 7937 NEW York CITY. Children of the light, of the one great Father, the mighty I Am presence. How fortunate you are after long, long centuries of your pilgrimage upon earth, in various embodiments similar to this, always reaching out through the heart. Yet the intellect has been constantly refusing the feeling, the action of the heart, having forgotten completely that the heart was the place of divine action. It is true today, as it was in the beginning, because your mighty I Am presence is anchored in your heart. It makes your physical heart, the heart of your mighty I Am presence, in action. As you come to know that your presence is above you, then giving it your attention, it brings into your outer world of activity the power of your presence, whose anchorage in the octave of the human life is in your physical heart. Will you be kind enough, precious ones, to hold that thought tonight, while I am dictating to you, and feel it earnestly, because it is my desire to do a definite work, while these words are being voiced to you. As you know, beginning in San Francisco, I came at beloved Saint Germain's request, to assist the people of earth. I came forth from my home in the light, after have 30. Discourse 31. ING rendered the service in India, as described in the Magic Presence. Saint Germain, after working for so many centuries for mankind, determined to try to awaken people again. Every time he would raise them to a certain point, rebellion in the human feeling at the discipline required, for the release of the mighty energy from their own God presence, would swing them aside. In our discussions, we had to decide what was the most powerful means by which this assistance could be given mankind. I said to him, I am willing to try with you and make a final effort to release the light within enough of mankind so the people may have the blessings which it holds for them. The light in your body comes from your beloved mighty I Am Presence and nowhere else. The persons who do not believe the I Am Presence is there, as described in this chart, will remain in their chains. No one may say they shall not do so, if they wish. That is within the choice of the individual, but I tell you, never in the history of the earth has there been such tremendous release of light and energy to bless mankind, as is coming forth at this time. We are not compelling humanity to accept and use this, but we can and do give it forth with greater and greater release of power and energy, as the student's attention to their mighty I Am Presence prepares them for it. If they will feel the directions given, there is not a thing in the 32 the 7 a.m. Discourses world which can prevent their freedom, success, and their ascension. I want you to realize tonight, if you will, precious ones, there is no time in human life and experience when mankind has not been guarded by those great ascended beings and the great cosmic beings. Otherwise mankind would not exist today, because of the accumulation of the discordant creations, which the people have drawn into the atmosphere of Earth. Their accumulated discord is the so-called astral or psychic world. In it, there is nothing but destructive qualities, generated and brought forth by mankind throughout the countless centuries, ever since mankind turned away from the acknowledgement of each one's mighty I Am Presence, and that is many, many centuries ago. I would not care to even draw your attention to the length of time, but today, for the first time in the history of the earth, there has been released this knowledge of the Ascended Masters in its minutest detail, so mankind, if the people will take advantage of this, through their calls to the presence, can free themselves wholly and completely. By the use of the violet consuming flame, they can release themselves from every discordant thing, which they have ever drawn about them. The individual, who is foolish enough not to wish to use the violet consuming flame, will remain in his chains and limitations. Without the use DISCOURSES 33 of it, you cannot free yourself from your own creations, and so far as it being harmful is concerned, that is positively foolish, for the reason the human cannot produce the violet consuming flame. Your presence, who is all perfection, is the only one, aside from the Ascended Masters, who can produce that violet consuming flame. At your call, the presence rushes it through your body and through your world of activity and creations, dissolving all discordant creations from you and your world. That is the way, it sets you free and is the means by which you can, through the assistance of your presence and the call to the Ascended Masters, so purify your body, the presence can enable you to make the ascension. The use of the tube of light about you is imperative today. If you wish to move in your world, untouched by the discordant human creation about you, it is the only way you can do it. While the messengers are here with you, we shall endeavor to make this so absolutely clear in every detail, all those who want to, may have the clearness, the understanding, and the power released within them, of the application which will set them free during this class. We have no desire to intrude anything upon anyone, but precious ones, there must be tremendous power in this light being released through these blessed messengers, when there is such furious opposition to them as there is today. Never has such vicious violent opposition touched anything, which has ever come forth in America, as these. 34. They have never given forth any. 34. The 7 a.m. discourses two precious ones have had to face, in the carrying forth of this light. They have never asked anything of anyone, except to love his or her own mighty I Am Presence, and harmonize himself or herself. They have never given forth anything but love, kindness and harmony. Yet this viciousness persists, and even the concentration of it going on all over the United States, by individuals trying to interfere with the spreading of this light. In Los Angeles, in the Pan-Pacific class, beloved ones, everything was attempted the human could think of, to try and prevent that class. Well, it was more wonderful than ever. Much of the same thing is being done in New York, to try to prevent the class here, but the class will go on untouched. These unfortunate individuals, who think they are opposing the Ballards and accusing them of all kinds of things, every word of which is falsehood, do they think for one moment, they are opposing the Ballards? The Ballards have not a thing to do with it, except to carry this light, and they have had the courage to face the lions on the path and make them Airedales, as Mrs. Shin says. Dear hearts, it is the great cosmic light which these unfortunate individuals are facing, not the Ballards. If Mr. and Mrs. Ballard should suddenly ascend, do you think this work would stop? As your phrase is used, not on your life. You see, we very often use your own expression, because it goes home clearly oft-times. I tell you, dear ones, those unfortunate beings will meet their own destruction, every. Discourses 35 one of them, who opposes this light and these blessed ones. They give forth nothing in this world but love and kindness. They do give forth the truth which will liberate and free every one of mankind, if each one will apply it with earnestness and determination. It will not apply itself. After the messengers returned from Honolulu last summer, their work, so far as their requirements in this activity were concerned, was finished. Saint Germain came to them in his tangible body and said, "Now you are free. If you wish to do so, you do not have to go on and battle farther in this," and they said, "Our joy is to serve. If we can be of further service, then we are ready to continue on, until enough of mankind understand their own mighty I Am presence, to hold the balance for mankind and set the rest of them free." Do you wonder, beloved ones of New York, why the messengers have been so unyielding and firm, in demanding and holding every one firm and close to the books which beloved Saint Germain brought forth? Because the truth is their unadulterated, the Ascended Master's words and understanding, in which there is no human concept. Because their words are power and are cups of the qualities which they carry. This understanding will set mankind free, as nothing else will do. It is not that there are not many wonderful things in the world, but we know this knowledge is unadulterated and complete as given. It is that which we used. All of the Ascended Masters have used identically the same.